The Ultimate Guide to Teaching ESL Grammar. 1. Introduction: The Foundation of Language Learning. Grammar forms the architectural framework of any language, providing the structural foundation upon which meaningful communication is built. For ESL, English as a Second Language, learners, mastering English grammar represents both a significant challenge and an essential stepping stone toward fluency. As educators, our approach to teaching grammar can either illuminate the path to language mastery or create barriers that hinder student progress. The evolution of grammar instruction has moved far beyond the traditional paradigm of rote memorization and mechanical drills. Today's most effective ESL teachers understand that grammar instruction must be contextualized, communicative, and connected to real-world language use. This comprehensive guide will equip you with the knowledge, strategies, and techniques necessary to transform your grammar teaching from a dreaded classroom necessity into an engaging, effective, and even enjoyable learning experience. Whether you're a novice teacher seeking foundational guidance or an experienced educator looking to refine your approach, this guide addresses the full spectrum of grammar instruction challenges. We'll explore everything from basic pedagogical principles to advanced techniques for teaching complex grammatical structures, ensuring that your students not only understand English grammar, but can apply it confidently in authentic communication situations. 2. Understanding the role of grammar in language acquisition. A. The grammar debate versus form versus function. The field of second language acquisition has long grappled with fundamental questions about grammar's role in language learning. Should we teach grammar explicitly or allow it to emerge naturally through exposure? Do students need to master grammatical rules before using them communicatively? Or should communication come first? Research suggests that the most effective approach lies not in choosing sides, but in finding the optimal balance between form-focused and meaning-focused instruction. Students benefit from both explicit grammar instruction and opportunities to use grammatical structures in meaningful contexts. This balanced approach, known as focus on form, allows teachers to draw students' attention to grammatical features while they are engaged in communicative activities. B. Grammar as a tool for communication. Modern ESL pedagogy views grammar not as an end in itself, but as a means to more effective communication. When students understand that grammatical accuracy enhances their ability to express ideas clearly and be understood by others, they become more motivated to learn and apply grammatical rules. This communicative perspective on grammar instruction emphasizes functional relevance, teaching grammar points that students need for their immediate communication goals. Contextual application, presenting grammar within meaningful contexts rather than in isolation. Accuracy for clarity, helping students understand how grammatical errors can impede communication. Fluency development, balancing accuracy with the need for smooth, natural communication. C. The interlanguage hypothesis and error analysis. Understanding how students acquire grammar requires familiarity with the concept of interlanguage, the dynamic linguistic system that learners develop as they progress toward target language proficiency. This system is characterized by systematic patterns that reflect both the influence of the learner's first language and their developing understanding of English grammar rules. Effective grammar instruction acknowledges that errors are a natural and necessary part of the learning process. Rather than viewing mistakes as failures, skilled teachers use error analysis to identify patterns in student difficulties, understand the logical thinking behind incorrect forms, provide targeted instruction that addresses specific problem areas, track student progress over time. 3. Foundational principles of effective grammar instruction. A. The presentation, practice, production model. The PPP model remains one of the most used frameworks for grammar instruction, providing a clear structure that moves students from initial exposure to independent use of grammatical structures. 1. Presentation phase. During the presentation phase, teachers introduce new grammatical structures in context. Effective presentation techniques include contextual introduction, presenting grammar through stories, dialogues, or real-life situations. Visual aids, using timelines, charts, and diagrams to illustrate grammatical concepts. Guided discovery, helping students notice patterns and formulate rules themselves. Clear explanations, providing concise, student-friendly explanations of form, meaning, and use. 2. Practice phase. The practice phase allows students to manipulate the new structure in controlled contexts. This phase typically progresses from highly controlled to more open-ended activities. Mechanical practice, substitution drills, transformation exercises, gap-filling activities. Meaningful practice, activities where students must understand meaning to complete tasks correctly. Communicative practice, information gap activities, role plays, and problem-solving tasks. Production phase. In the production phase, students use the target structure in free, communicative activities that simulate real-world language use. Examples include open-ended discussions and debates, creative writing tasks, project-based activities, authentic communication tasks. B. The task-based language teaching, or TBLT, approach. Task-based language teaching offers an alternative to the PPP model by organizing instruction around meaningful tasks rather than grammatical structures. In TBLT, grammar instruction emerges from students' needs as they work to complete communicative tasks. The TBLT cycle typically includes pre-task phase, preparing students for the task by vocabulary introduction and task modeling. Task cycle. Students complete the task, plan their reports, and present their findings. Language focus. Teacher and student analyze language used during the task and practice problematic forms. C. Inductive versus deductive approaches. Teachers must decide whether to present grammatical rules explicitly, the deductive approach, or guide students to discover rules through examples, the inductive approach. Each approach has distinct advantages. Deductive approach benefits: time efficient for complex rules, provides clear, explicit guidance, suits analytical learners, effective for abstract grammatical concepts. Inductive approach benefits: promotes deeper understanding, encourages active learning, develops pattern recognition skills, creates more memorable learning experiences. The most effective teachers use both approaches strategically, choosing the method that best suits the grammatical structure, student needs, and learning context. 4. Essential grammar areas for ESL learners. A. Verb tenses and aspect. English verb tenses present one of the greatest challenges for ESL learners, particularly those whose first languages have different temporal systems. Effective tense instruction requires understanding both form and function. 1. Present tenses. Simple present, habits, facts, general truths. Present continuous, actions happening now, temporary situations. Present perfect, past actions with present relevance. Present perfect continuous, actions that started in the past and continue to the present. 2. Past tenses, simple past, completed actions in the past. Past continuous, actions in progress at a specific past time. Past perfect, actions completed before another past action. Past perfect continuous, actions that were ongoing before another past action. 3. Future forms: will, predictions, spontaneous decisions, promises. Going to, plans, intentions, predictions based on evidence. Present continuous for future, arranged plans. Future perfect, actions that will be completed by a specific future time.
B. Modal verbs and their functions. Modal verbs express attitudes, possibilities, obligations, and abilities. Teaching modals effectively requires focusing on their communicative functions rather than just their forms. Key modal functions: ability, can, could, be able to. Permission, may, could, can. Obligation, must, have to, should. Possibility, might, may, could. Advice, should, ought to, had better. C. Conditional structures. Conditional sentences allow speakers to express hypothetical situations, making them essential for advanced communication. The four main types each serve different communicative purposes: zero conditional, general truths, and